Chris Cron joining us once again this morning. It's great to have you back, Chris. And before I
Always a
get to what
pleasure.
I really want to talk to you about, you have to tell me about the experience of playing with the Beach Boys for a handful of shows just a few weeks ago.
Oh my gosh. I mean, how do you top that? How do you talk about that? It's a band I've known since I was 3, 4 years old and have loved forever. And uh, to get the opportunity to join them on stage and stand between Mike and Bruce, like on stage, and get to sing lead on Good Vibrations and Help Me Rhonda was just mind blowing.
Now, you had
Yeah.
sung with them before. You had done a couple of songs with them in like a backup
My
role.
So I've met. This is a long story, but I gotta thank John Stamos for these connections. He and I have met through Instagram, and he connected me with the Beach Boys tour manager, or not tour manager, their music director, who lives in Franklin, and we become good friends with him and his family. And yeah, one time they were playing in Kentucky. It was the closest show to Nashville, so we drove up there, me and the wife and the kids, and um, we went backstage and met everybody, and then while we're standing there talking to a few of the guys and him, they're like, you should fill in with us tonight. I'm like, wait, what? And so that night I got up and I sang Kokomo with them. I got to sing the like Brian's the music director, the like high part, uh the I wanna take it down to Kokomo, that part. We'll
Right.
get there fast and then we'll take it slow. Yeah. Uh, Better than I just did right now. But yeah, so I've done that once, and but this is the first time I was asked to actually like join the band on stage. So the Mike Love's son Christian had a few days off to do. He had a couple shows out in L.A. of his own music that he's doing, and so they needed somebody to fill in for a show at the Hard Rock in Fort Lauderdale, and for 2 shows at Epcot in Disney World. So my first question naturally was, can I bring my wife and kids? Because I can't do Disney without them.
Of course.
Um, uh, so yeah, I flew down to Fort Lauderdale, and I practiced for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and then even in the hotel room kept practicing because it was 34 songs to learn on guitar and vocal parts that I don't normally sing. Uh, so it was just a lot of stuff to memorize. Um, and Super nervous first couple songs of that first show. And then after that, it was like, oh, I feel it feels natural now. It feels good. And then that 110-minute show was done in 2 seconds, it felt like. Um, just a whirlwind of joy and fun.
You obviously know all the parts to their songs. How was it determined which one you were going to sing?
Yeah, well, I sung all of Christian's parts, and he kind of sings some of the like more baritone parts. A lot of the like pedal tones, like
Hmm.
the notes that kind of stay the same. Um, but just learning what those were, because normally I play in a Beach Boys tribute band too, and I normally sing all the high parts. Um, so yeah, I had to reconfigure my brain for this one.
Yeah, that Beach Boys band, by the way, is Pet Sounds Live, where you do the Pet Sounds album in its entirety. And
Yep.
I've seen videos online, and they're just phenomenal.
Thank you. I'm working on finishing another one today. I'll be posting that later today.
So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on this morning, because at this time each week we take a demo of a
Hmm.
song that everybody knows really, really well, and we play the demo version, and then maybe there's a work in progress of the song, and then we finally play the version that everybody knows so well.
Yeah.
So I was looking for demo versions of Christmas songs, and they're really, really hard to find. In
Yeah.
fact, I couldn't find any of them. But then I thought, wait a second. This guy basically did what I do each week. And you have on your Instagram page, you have Little Saint Nick, the
Yeah.
Beach Boys, and you sing all 5 parts of it, which
Hmm.
is that's no mean feat. I mean, you got to get to Merry Christmas, that
Yeah.
deep one,
And the
Christmas,
Merry
that
Christmas.
yeah. So you got
Yeah,
to be able to do the full range of that when you're sitting down to do that. Um, My question to you is, how do you hear those individual parts? Because that's not generally 1, 3, 5 that we're talking about here. These are very intricate, and the vocal
No.
lines are crossing.
Yeah, so with these, for those who don't know, I do a series on Instagram called Harmony Builds, where I take a song that everyone knows, or a song that I love that has really good like vocal harmonies, and I'll break it down. I'll usually sing the low part first, sometimes the lead part first, just depends. But I'll sing that and I stack up the parts until we've got the entire thing. So I'll just loop sections. I don't do the entire song because on Instagram that would take 15 minutes, and most people's attention span is less than 3 minutes, if that.
Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll practice each part, and what I do is in my recording software, I record a piano line of each part. So I'll record just the bass vocal part, just the piano line of that, and then I'll do the same for every part, and I put them in a row in succession. So when I'm listening, I'm hearing that part. I'm not hearing the other parts that I sang previously. I'm only hearing that part and a click track so I can stay on time.
Hmm.
So I just practice that over and over a few times, and then I'll once I think I'm ready, I'll turn the camera on and just go for it. And so once I get the take that I like, I take each section and I put them in line so that they all stack, and that's how it's made. That's how the hot dogs are made.
I have to make the donuts.
Yeah, exactly.
And the sound is wonderful because when you listen to it, you hear the very first part, the lead slash baritone, and
Yeah.
then you hear the first part that you add on to it, and you're thinking, okay. And then in my head, I'm hearing the very, very highest part. Like,
Yeah.
how is he going to get to there? And you
Yeah.
hear the whole mix come together.
Yeah, and sometimes when you hear these individual parts together, you hear like the bass and the baritone, or the baritone and the second tenor. Usually, there's like some weird like if you isolate those together, they sound weird. Sometimes they even sound like old 16th century Gregorian chant with these like weird parallel intervals, and like that's really in between there. You stack it all together, it sounds like a major chord. It sounds like a lush full thing, and you hear the melody and it makes sense. So it's really fascinating, I think, for people to hear them kind of stripped down and isolated like that.
So when you do that, obviously, you can rehearse the parts and you get all through it. But when you're on
Yeah.
stage live, whether it's with Pet Sounds Live or as recently with the band itself, and you hear that vocal mix come back
Yeah.
at you, what is that experience like?
Oh, it's the most fun thing. It's like, I was in choir in high school and in college, and there's nothing like a group of singers like singing together. We before that first show, Brian called all of us into one of the dressing rooms to do a little vocal run through, because I had never sung with them in that capacity. So they wanted to just kind of check everything, make sure the chords were stacking right. So it's me and Bruce and all the other guys that are singing. Mike wasn't in the room at that point. He's singing his lead part, and we just needed to like see if the surrounding chord was working. And so just I don't know, in the room with them like singing a cappella with someone on an acoustic guitar was wild. Yeah.
I can only begin to imagine. So let's play it. This is Chris Cron and the vocal stack for the Beach Boys' Little Saint Nick here at 105.5 WDHA. Chris, thanks for your time, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to you and yours as well.